first off, how did you even get into wrestling to begin with?
So I remember I didn't watch wrestling as a kid, but all my friends did, and I used to make fun of them for it, because I didn't understand it, right? And when I was in my 20s, one of my friends sort of introduced me to it, and I immediately fell in love with it and realized that it was a good blend of all the things that I liked. It was the athleticism, sports, it was that entertainment aspect of things, and so it was a good marriage of all the things that I liked, and I found a wrestling school in Green Bay. Spent 9 months there, had my first match, and then spent the next 6 years doing independence and trying to build a resume and a database, strong enough so that I could hopefully get a job, a real paying job. So,
Pay the bills.
I've been able to do it for 10. I've been able to pay my bills with it for the last 10 years. So
I can't complain, eh?
Yeah.
When you spent time with WWE, do you feel that they used you to your fullest character potential?
No, but you know what? At the end of the day, that was their business decision, and if they're happy with it, then that's all I can do. I offer a service. When you break it down, I offer them a service, and they're free to either utilize it to make the most amount of money for themselves and me, or they can just, when you pick up a $100 bill, you can either use that $100 bill, invest it, or you can smoke it. You can roll it up and smoke it. So,
between TNA and WWE, what do you feel is the largest difference working-wise now that you've been with both companies?
I think there's a huge difference. I think just the atmosphere at TNA is it's just a positive work environment. We have an extraordinary amount of sort of input into our characters and what we're able to do in the ring, and everybody in the locker room gets along. Nobody's walking around thinking that they're going to get fired tomorrow. It's just a fun, positive environment.
Okay.
There are always pros and cons to everything.
Yeah, of course. But it sounds like you got more creative control.
Yeah, and I think the thing about TNA, Impact Wrestling, is that we're constantly striving to improve, and the company's only been around for 12 years. And if you look at where we started and where we are today, I think they've made great strides, and they continue to do that. So,
do you feel the comparison is fair that you guys have with WCW, or how they started and they worked their way up, and kind of they plateaued, but then they kind of went up again?
Right. I don't know. I think it's a different time today. That whole period was different. People looked at the business differently then. They don't necessarily know. So I understand the comparison to a degree, but I think it's a new day, and I hope that one day we'll sort of stand alone. And I think what Impact is going to do in the next year or so, and they'll start rolling things out very shortly, the next round of TV tapings, is that we're going to do a lot of post-production. The camera's going to go places that you've never been allowed before.
Okay.
We're going to see sides of people's personal lives and character development that you haven't seen before. Multiple camera shoots and things like that. A little more pizzazz on the production.
It's a little bit more on a personal level with some of the talent.
Yep.
And that's a big difference, because everybody, especially with this day and age of internet, you can just find out so much about a guy away from wrestling.
Yep.
It's nice to actually see it being part of the show.
Absolutely. And one of my favorite things that we've ever done at Impact was we did the 365, or there was another show that was on after Impact where it was like a backstage, behind the scenes sort of. It was just a raw, rough camera shot, more of a documentary style. So,
not to be confused with Damage 365, of course. Almost a good plug there. Seeing you just signed with TNA, like, was this a long, dragged out contract negotiation, or was this like kind of a spur of the moment that came to you and you said, yeah, okay?
No, actually, what happens is I have a 3-year deal with Impact, with TNA, and basically there's an option at the end of every year to either continue on or not. And just picked up the option for the body
allows it, so let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what is other than I guess another 3 years? What's the immediate future hold for you?
I don't know. I think there's going to be some interesting things you'll see creatively. I'm looking forward to it, really, and I'm looking forward to this new format, our new network, which I know a lot of people are sort of skeptical about, but I encourage everybody to reach out to your cable providers and ask them. Every cable provider out there offers Destination America. It's just sometimes it's in a different tier. If enough people call their cable providers and ask for that Destination America to be moved, there's a good possibility that that'll happen. And other than that, I'm just working on my podcast and a few other things, some acting gigs and things like that. So,
okay. Social media. I mean, it's part of life now.
Yeah.
How can fans reach out to you?
They can find me on Twitter at Mr. Ken Anderson, and on Instagram they can find me at Mr. spelled out Mister Ken Anderson. So, yeah.
All right. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, that was TNA star Mr. Anderson from Euro's Pizza, courtesy of Richie DeGreg Promotions.
Another cool interview. Another guy really down to earth. Now, of course, a former TNA and former WWE star, Mr. Ken Anderson. That interview from January 10th, 2015. Again, courtesy of RDP Promotions. Check out RDP Promotions on Facebook, as well as ESS Promotions, who will be bringing in Mr. Anderson very soon to some shows. So check out both their Facebook page for their guests and venues. Again, this weekend, Legends of the Ring, Damage 365 Promotions will be bringing you the Genius, Lonnie Poffo, Casey Spinelli, Caitlin Diamond, Thunder Rosa, Holodead, and then later that day and into the evening at Warriors of Wrestling, that same crew, along with former voice of WCW, WWE, and the NWA, Tony Schiavone. And we will be bringing that whole crew on Sunday to Pro Wrestling World in Allentown, Pennsylvania at the Merchant Square Mall. Also, do not forget, and if you haven't got your tickets now, you're nuts. Get them now. I mean, you're not going to be happy you missed the show. June 9th at Fun Station USA, 3555 Victory Boulevard in Staten Island, New York. The Women of Warriors show number 2 will go on. And you do not want to miss the Twisted Sisters in the main event versus Team Pog, Lou Fisto, and Jordan Grace. Also, Nikki Adams will put up on the line her Women of Warriors Championship against Tasha Steeles. You do not want to miss that. The whole card is at the Warriors of Wrestling website and, of course, warriorsofwrestling.com. Thanks to our sponsors, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, Esposito's Pizza and Pasta, the Keyport Print Shop, and Warriors of Wrestling, Women of Warriors, and warriorsofwrestling.com. Also to our newest sponsor, if you didn't hear their promo twice today, Sabotage Wrestling. Check them out on Facebook as well and Twitter. They have a show coming up. And thanks again to Mr. Ken Anderson and to AJ Styles, RDP Promotions, and ESS Promotions, as we mentioned to everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks, because again, next weekend we have no show, Legends of the Ring weekend, and it's going to be pretty exciting. So enjoy tonight's pay-per-view, Extreme Rules, WWE on the WWE Network, and we will talk to you in 2 weeks. everybody have a great weekend. And like we said, any updates we have on Lonnie Poffo and his appearances this weekend, we will get out as soon as possible. We do not want to leave we do not want to leave anybody hanging. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So again, we'll get to everybody as soon as possible regarding the appearances status of Lonnie Poffo. Figure Wednesday the latest we'll have a 100% answer. So on behalf of myself, Coach Kev, and my entire staff, Damage 365 Radio and Damage 365 Promotions, this is the Indy Super Show. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
This is Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and you're listening to Damage Radio 365. Yeah, baby!